reported gunfire in the mall. At least 20 shots.
Units in and around the Hamilton Police Boulevard, be advised that it's going to be active gunfire.
Tonight, live coverage after a shooting at Hamilton Place Mall. Good evening. I'm Josh Rowe. You can see right here bullet holes in the glass railing outside of the Great American Cookie Store. Chattanooga Police say one person from two groups of people began shooting at each other over here. You can see the shell casings marked by police right here in this photo. CPD says a woman was injured in the midst of the chaos, but she is okay and was not a target of this shooting. We spoke to a man tonight who says he treated that woman who was injured.
And she had a wound on her leg. I'm an off-duty paramedic from another state, so I started treating this lady that had this wound. It wasn't severe, it wasn't life-threatening or limb-threatening, but nonetheless, I was there to at least coach her.
Now, Eric Biddinghoff has been on the scene all night tonight as families are reunited. He joins us now live. Eric, tell us what you've learned.
Josh, that's right. We've been here for several hours. Just moments ago, police took the police tape down that was here at Hamilton Place Mall in front of Rodizio Grill, and the final police cars that were here on scene just left moments ago, within the past couple of minutes. The scene's now calm, but that's very different from what we saw just a few hours ago. Let me paint that picture for you, Josh. Just a few hours ago in this parking lot, we had rows of police cars from CPD as well as the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. In addition, we had a large crowd of concerned and confused citizens. A shocking sight at Hamilton Place Mall.
I heard about 6 or 7 shots go off, and I see my coworker start running toward the back.
Police taped dozens of officers and crowds of people earlier this evening. Tanika Hayden came to find her 17-year-old daughter, who was inside when the shooting happened.
Because at first, when she called me, she was screaming and hollering. She said she heard multiple gunshots.
At the time, she was still waiting for her daughter to be escorted out.
They okay, they just scared, they shooken up, and they don't know when they'll let them out.
Today was particularly sobering for Tanika, who already lost her son to violence.
Really, my heart dropped. I can't take this. I can't take another episode of this losing a child, because next month it'll be a year that my son has been dead.
CPD Sergeant Jeremy Eames says there were two groups involved in the shooting.
These individuals recognized one another and for whatever reason felt like it was a time and place to produce firearms and shoot at each other.
We asked if they suspected gang activity.
Related? We don't have that information at this time.
As for victims, one female with non-life-threatening injuries. She was not struck by gunfire, but was injured while trying to leave the scene.
We don't believe at this time that she was the intended target.
Eames said to his knowledge, no one had been taken into custody yet, but they believe the suspects left the area after the shooting.
At this time, we don't believe there to be an ongoing threat inside the mall. We also don't believe there to be an ongoing public threat of any kind whatsoever.
Sergeant Eames said he was disturbed by the incident.
To be that reckless, to be that irresponsible, quite frankly, quite just juvenile.
And as she waited anxiously for her daughter, so was Tanika Hayden.
This violence has got to stop. It's crazy, it's ridiculous.
Josh, police say suspects are not in custody at this time. They say if you're out there and you have info that could help police, to please call the number below at the bottom of your screen. That's 423-698-2525.
One ticket really that important to take a human being's life just for speeding, and you can get them the next day?
Austin Grooms' mother says after months of unanswered questions, she still can't understand why her son isn't here today. Documents we obtained show that the chase started because of speeding, and that the officer who continued chasing Grooms wasn't an official police officer, but someone with Stevenson Police did tell him to continue the chase.
I'm laying here hurting because I lost my baby boy.
More than 5 months after this crash that killed Austin Grooms, his mother says she has unanswered questions.
I'm waking up thinking, why did they do this to my baby? He was 20 years old. He just started his life.
State documents we obtained through a public record request revealing today that it all started in the Stevenson city limits when Stephen police officer Cecil Davis clocked Grooms driving 79 miles per hour in a 45 zone and activated his blue lights.
When it first started and it was blue lights, I wish to God my son would have just stopped.
But she says she doesn't blame Austin for what happened next. Documents say police officer Davis's car malfunctioned. That's when interviews show he ordered Jason Leroy, who was a volunteer firefighter and a reserve officer, but not a commissioned officer, to stay close to Grooms's car and continue the chase.
My child didn't know who was chasing him. I wouldn't have stopped. Neither would anybody else.
The THP report says Leroy chased Grooms in this unmarked white car that did not have blue lights. The chase reached speeds of over 120 miles per hour before Austin lost control and crashed.
Is it really that important? Is one ticket really that important to take a human being's life?
After months of unsuccessful attempts to get some of our questions answered, we headed to the Stevenson Police Department.
Hi there, my name's Sabrina and I'm with News Channel 9.
We were told no one was available to answer questions about their chase policy and whether Officer Davis was still with the department. That's when we ran into Stevenson City Council member Bob Spencer.
The answer is no.
He told us that neither Leroy nor Davis were still with the Stevenson Police Department, but Tanya says that's not enough.
Been no justice. I'm just getting answers almost 5 months later.
The CEO of the North Georgia Healthcare Center in Ringgold agrees to pay $130,000 to settle allegations that a doctor who worked there prescribed opioids without a proper exam. According to North Georgia U.S. Attorney's Office, Dr. Smith is accused of only visiting NGHC one afternoon per week, rarely saw patients or reviewed their charts. The government also says Smith, quote, routinely assigned stacks of prescriptions for patients he had neither seen nor otherwise evaluated. We talked to Elaine Hunter, the CEO of NGHC, today about this case. She chose not to name Dr. Smith, but explained her memories of what happened.
We had a situation that was going on in the clinical side of where I am. And so once I got wind of what was happening in the back with scripts being written and just a couple of different things going on, then I took action on that and let that individual go. I didn't know at the time, but there was any investigation going on. To be honest with you, I let him go in February, and in October they showed up.
Now, Dr. Smith, in a separate settlement, agreed not to participate in federal health care programs for 10 years. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Hunter failed to promptly address what was happening after being alerted. We spoke to Hunter today about the Healthy Foundations project that's being planned in Walker County. It's a health care campus that will have a wide range of resources. Leaders of the campus say it's a first of its kind anywhere. She's the CEO of that facility as well.